Hi there, Ron here of Variable Play, and welcome to JustSleeving, and we're going to be sleeving People Power Insurgency in the Philippines, 1981 to 1986, designed by Kenneth T. So, People Power, recently we had an interview with Kenneth T himself.
And I'm saying like to myself, like, well, it works for Finland, but it doesn't work for the Philippines.
It was a really good interview. If you haven't watched it, please go ahead watch that right now. Uh, in the meantime, we will be unboxing this and checking out and sleeving uh, this really cool game from GMT. Okay, first up, let's look at the box itself. Okay, so we have the box. We have for the sides, we have their Philippine flag, the title of the game, the coin system, which is the framework of how this game works. This is the 11th of the series, and it's a series of games, mostly done in this theme, more political uh, war game insurgency type. Uh, Coin means counterinsurgency, and it's a framework that has a lineage already of really good games. We have the box uh, cover art at the back. You see that we'll have the Philippine map, some tokens, the really nicely done UX in terms of the cards, and a little bit of a background on the game. So the coin series was originally designed by Volko Runke. There's three factions actually: the government of Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos, backed by the military and its political cronies; the Marxist Leninist Maoist insurgency of the New People's Army; and the political reformers led by the widowed Corazon Aquino. So this is just in time of course, the anniversary of People Power. Okay, let's see what's inside the box. So, what's inside the box? We have a playbook, um, and then the rules of play, and we have card-based non-player rules and reference booklet. Okay, so this is the solo, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have some cardboard for the tokens. We have some player boards. We have the non-player aid, which is called Bonifacio. And then we have the three booklets for the player aid. When you get it, you in essence get all the player aid for all the three factions, so that you know what the other factions is able to do as well. That, to be honest, almost is the rules themselves. The game is really nicely done, and it's able to convey a lot of the mechanics through that. Then we have the board itself. So for the it will be the Philippine map. Let me just open it out. So you have the different major cities. We have Manila, Cebu, Davao, and Zamboanga. These are major conflict points in our history. Then we have the different regions. So you have a major cluster here, which is the Luzon Island, Visayas, and then Mindanao. Luzon, you can sort of split it as northern Luzon and southern Luzon areas. Then you have your Manila city centers. The Visayas region, Mindanao is split into three: Western, Central, and Eastern Mindanao. Uh, you have here some identifiers. So this is the countryside background, and this is the city. And you also have the points indicator for having control over them. And you have this uh, indicator for the border. Around is a score marker, and the win conditions for each of the different factions come election day are indicated over here. Next, we have a lot of tokens. We'll be sorting those tokens out for each faction, and then we also have some dice. There's very few operations that you need the dice for, but they are there. And the key driver of the game, the cards themselves. Inside the box, you still feature the same art, and just I tend to check just in case there's some Easter eggs. All right, so I'm gonna set that on the side. We have your different control markers. So control is only for, so it's only for the government or the New People's Army. The reformists don't ever gain control because this coin game is one of the two that has featured a non-violent faction. So the other one is India and Gandhi's India. Support tokens. These measure to which side a certain region is leaning to. So you have the opposition, and we have some terror tokens, some more resistance tokens. And when people ask, like, why are there blank boards? Often than not, the explanation is that the tokens, their sizing and their design, especially for a game that has a framework like this, where it can work with existing tokens and systems, and they just have to build around their specific theme and framework, then the die that's used to cut and make the molds, they don't have to buy a separate die, and the die itself is quite a costly component. So if there's a way for them to reduce, then definitely it saves on the cost of the game, improving the margins for the producers. I like to arrange my components early because it allows faster deployment when you're teaching the game, and people can get to play around with their components already. So the blue components are for the government. to have our support tokens. We can probably also put it there. And our control patronage marker for the WinCon and the aid. Okay. So that I believe, well actually, there's a few more that we need. I don't think fits there. Because these are the base. So maybe we have to have a supporting disk for. Let's move the other tokens in here. So we will have the bases. We'll put the bases over here. It will fit. Question is, can we still fit? It kind of does actually. It's a bit of a but I think we can set that here instead because there's two of them anyway. So we'll put those there. We'll put the support tokens, the aid into. All right, that is the markers for the government faction. Let's set up the one for the resistance, the National Paper Time. And okay, so you have resist and their support resist tokens or sentiment tokens. Control is interchangeable. I think that should good. And then the red last is for the opposition. We are going to get their bases as well. And that one, they're scoring. And the opposition tokens, there's another one over here. And for the rest of their okay. Then we'll need for the control markers. You can have that. We probably fit it in a small one. This is just the control. We'll set them in a small container. Easier for people to reach and get their tokens. And then we'll set the bearer and strike. We can set him in one, I think. Yeah, let's do that. And then finally, small one for the other board components. And then, of course, the election. Right. That should be the main, and then we can also set these guys. So these are used to help players identify what already has been played and used. Um, because when you interact with things on the map, they they would have a specific effect. But my container is not large enough to handle it. I'm not sure if I brought another one. So for now, we will be placing them. Let's upgrade this guy. Do this. And let's put the dike into that. Let's have those as let's all put them in. I think it actually will fit in here. Let me just double check. Yeah, and then the 3 dice. Okay, now to sleeve the cards. So we have the cards themselves. Okay. These are the different event cards. Yes, the events. Then we have the 4 election cards. We have different personalities. And yes, personalities. And then password. And finally the solo player. Okay, let's get on sleeving. Let's see. So we have here IMF. So each event card will have a couple of things happening on them. I'll show you in a bit. So you can see here, once the camera decides to focus, there you go. So up top is the sequence of play. It tells us that the opposition player runs first, then NPA, then finally the government. Gives you an art of the card, and then you can see here the main and so the government action, and then the reformist or NPA action. And depending on who wants to run the game, the card, they get to decide. And that's really what's cool about it. I like how precise that rule is. The card dictates who is playing, changes the tactic altogether, and then you use the coin framework to manage the damage or mitigate the actions that the opponent can take. So in this case, for example, if the government runs the event, they get to remove a reformer base from Manila and an adjacent space. That is massive. That's massive. So, and then the counterpart, if you are the reformist and if you get to run the event, you place an activist, a reformer base in a protest marker in any one space, flip strike and remove terror if any. So that is quite big. So very likely that the reformist player, if they are eligible to perform that event, gets to do so. But if, for example, in a previous round, they have decided to take a strong action, then that event now suddenly becomes very powerful for the government player. To which there are still ways for the players to mitigate, because the NPA player can decide where the card goes, or whether they still want the opponent to, okay, the government can mess up the performance because it also improves my agenda. I will bring down this. Okay, there. Okay, we have here next General Ver gets acquitted. So here's the Escalante massacre. Evelio Javier has been murdered. Here, Malaysian Moro pirates. Campanyang Ahos. Ahos is Spanish for garlic. The Makati Business Club. Here's the San Miguel Corporation. So very prominent beverage liquor company in the Philippines. Drinking alcohol. We have here Bayan. So there's a divide in the reformist side of things. National Day of Sorrow. Barangay organizing committees. Chinese aid. Marcos War Reward. But unlook your plat. You have the Opposition Alliance. Snap election announced. National Democratic Front. Agaw Armas. VP Bush Toast. You have the Manotok kidnapping. You have your Ninoy. Nino speaks against Marcos. Pope John II visits. Light the Fire Movement. And Bata Island Massacre. Okay. So those are the event cards. And I wanted to sleeve them in a nice small sleeve so I can utilize these cases. Allows me to load them quicker. I'll include the national elections in that set as well, because so this one, gets murdered, and each event there's a ongoing effect for another faction. So 1984 parliamentary election, the 1986 snap election, and here's the 1981 presidential election. Okay. Let's include these in here, as they often will be used as a group. Okay, then we have our different personalities. The ever immortal Juan Ponce Enriles here. Imelda Marcos. You have General Ver, General Fabian Ver. Yeah, there's General Fidel V. Ramos, who also became president a few years later. There's the widower Corazon Aquino, Jaime Cardinal Cid, so Salvador Laurel. We have here Colonel Gregorio Honasa. For the insurgents, we have Jose Maria Sison, Rodolfo Salas, Rolly Quintanar, and Leandro Alejandro. For the acts of desperation, we have here Reagan offers sanctuary. Here, Marcos inaugurated. Dominic hides election tampering. Here for the reformists, we have Enrile and Ramos defect, which are two major generals at that time. People Power itself. Then election boycott ignored. And then we have the CCP NPA boycott election, the national strike, and violence disrupts election. Okay. Those are different personalities and acts of desperation. Then we're also gonna sleeve the solo cards. So let me just go through them quickly. But there's a solo card for the government. NPA, National People's Army. And for the reforms. All right, so let's put them back in the box. Let me just raise this up again for you. Okay, so we'll have our cards. Can I fit? Oh, nice. We can fit them snugly there. I hope they fit. But if not, there's a lot of other compartments that you can easily use. But often they would suffice. So we have, I think these guys actually fit quite well this way. So in that case, our best option, because let's see if I can stack these two. Yes, I could. That should allow us to We have a smaller one, no? But these then now can stack this way. Awesome. And then finally, woof. That feels nice. When you finally organize things down to that level of that is sweet. And often I will keep the extra sleeves in the box. So in case, because it's just a few more left in the pack. So just in case we would have some tears, then I would have a ready spare inside. Now I'm gonna punch out these tokens really fast because it's just gonna make a mess inside. But no, actually I don't have to. Let me. So let's just, because if I set this in, this is, it's not so bad actually. It's not so bad. You don't have to. You don't have to. This is fine. Okay. All right. So there you have it. Let me just open this box back up. Love how thick the box is. You can really feel the difference in quality. It's heavy. The boards are heavy. The boards are very thick as well. That's why it's quite difficult. So let me just bring that out. Put them back inside. What's up? The box. Okay. So there you have it. All boxed up. People Power. I'm excited to play it again and try out the other modes. What I really like about the game is that it reminds us of our history. It reminds us of our past, quite a difficult past, and things that we are still experiencing today. But at the same time, it gave highlight and a perspective, an honest perspective on each of the different sides. The research was done very thoughtfully and thoroughly. So if you want to learn a bit more of our history, and well, everybody always should learn about our past. That way, we would have a better understanding of our ways forward. So, thank you everyone for joining me and for today's celebration. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.